So you coded some of your original coding.
Yeah.
And you said it's still in use.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you think of Elon as a coder?
Well, I have no idea how well he can code, but he's clearly a great engineer. I think if you look at what he's done with SpaceX, for example, taking an industry that was, hugely inefficient in the way that it did what I would call the waterfall method of software development, except with spaceflight. He was able to reduce the cost of manned spaceflight and unmanned spaceflight by 2 orders of magnitude. And that's by pushing, I think, an iterative, fail fast, experiment kind of mentality. And I think that's the great engineer that is embodied in
also
Elon
the huge
Musk.
brand awareness thing that he does. I think people are just wearing SpaceX shirt. They
Back
buy
to
the
brand.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, we're back to
Yeah,
brand.
absolutely.
back to
He did an interview on YouTube, was given a tour of.
Is this the one where he's smoking weed the whole time?
No, that was Rogan, wasn't it? This was he was giving a tour to this YouTuber. I forget his name. Is a well-known YouTuber, giving a tour of Spaceport and talking about the process of getting Starship up and running and the iterative process they've used and some of the principles they use in designing it, and even in terms of the fact that if there's an assertion that an engineer is making, for example, that you can't, the spacecraft can't do X, it can't be written in a document somewhere and treated as truth unless there's an engineer on staff saying, I support this claim and I'll go and debate with whoever wants to talk about this claim. Because he talks about the fact that knowledge can get dated and incorrect so quickly that you need you can't just trust what maybe an intern that you hired 3 years ago wrote in a doc as a basic truth. You need to constantly be challenging that thinking and have people
I think it's important
on the team
to change your mind too.
to be able to change your mind. And that's exactly at the heart of what I think is great engineering thought from
social
from
engineer,
Elon.
even if not a computer engineer, is an exceptional social engineer.
Exactly. And in this episode, he talks about an example of building the Model 3 when it was in production hell. And one of the most expensive things they had to engineer out of the process was this steel plate that was under the battery.
Yeah.
And he asked why the steel plate was there. And he went and talked to the battery people, and they said, well, the designers said it needs to be in there for noise reduction. And then he went and asked the designers why it was in there. So, well, the battery people said it needed to be in here to protect the battery in a collision. And so he pulls these two groups in a room and is like, what? Tell me why this steel plate's here. You're both pointing at each other, saying that it's a requirement from the other, when in fact it's not a requirement from either. And he ends up discovering that this is a completely unneeded part that he was able to save literally hundreds of millions of dollars in the production cost of these cars.